morning again, and welcome back to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the commentary section of the show. We just got finished looking at this beautiful lens, the new LUMIX. Well, it's not that new anymore. It just took me forever to get one. New Leica LUMIX Panasonic 8 to 18 millimeter. So far, it's looking pretty sweet. I cannot wait to get out and start shooting with it for real. Of course, given the weather that we have outside, i.e. swimming in smoke, I don't know how much shooting I'm going to get done with that over the next couple of weeks, but we'll see what we can do. I ended the live show, the real show, the regular show, thanking our sponsor, photonet.com, and I had a commentary that I wanted to give on this. Totally nothing to do with photography, but it has to do with your business, whether you're a photographer or anything else. Obviously, we all know having a good domain name is great. And if you're going to get a good domain name, check out photonet.com. But it's not just the name, right? It's not just your domain name. You have to have a good name that works on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else as well. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because a friend of mine had posted something on Facebook this morning saying, hey, I'm setting up a new company. Here's a couple of name ideas. And one of them was basically, there were two Italian words, but they're American and they're building a company in America. There were two Italian words, which sounded really cool, but nobody could spell unless you knew what it was. Like, it's the kind of thing that you'd say, oh, my name is this, and you go, how do you spell that? What's the URL? Wait, what? But if your company name and URL is easy, photojoseph.com, bobscamerastore.com, whatever, it's going to be easy. People can find that. They can remember it. They can type in it. They don't have to ask you how to spell it, any of that. But equally important to having a good name there is having a name that you can have also across all the social media networks, where you want to have the same name everywhere. And so, again, the reason I'm doing this, because this came up this morning, I just wanted to share it with you. There's this website, no, this isn't the only one, but this website called NameCheck. It's spelled N-A-M-E-C-H-K, namecheck.com. But you can punch in anything. So if I wanted to put it, like, I don't know, Bob's camera and cameras, Bob's cameras and coffee. There, that can't possibly be used anywhere. And I hit search on this, and it's going to tell me where this is available. So I can see in here that it's available to .com and all these other ones. I don't know why these are white. The green is good. What does white mean? I don't even know what that means. But anyway, green is good. Here's a yellow one. Twitter, it tells me the username is too long for that, a maximum of 15 characters. Okay, I need to adjust my company name, because you know what? Not having a Twitter account is unacceptable. And saying, oh, well, I'll just call the Twitter one Bob's C&C. Well, no, you can't do that. You can't change it. You got to have the same thing everywhere. So if you're setting up a new, the Vine, I think, is also too long. Yep, Vine's also too long. If you're setting up a new company, a website, whatever it is, make sure that the domain that you're getting can be used across all the social media networks. It's so important. We want to have that same thing on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere. When I switched over to PhotoJoseph, it was a long transition, because I registered PhotoJoseph.com, and that was great. And I think, I don't remember all of them, I think I was able to get it on Instagram, but not Twitter. And it took years to get it on Twitter, because somebody else had it, but it was a dormant account. I finally got Twitter to hand it over to me. And on on YouTube, when I first set it up, I just did Jalen Ashke, my first initial and last name, which obviously nobody can spell, and that was set up on YouTube 1,000 years ago. But when I started doing this business and I really wanted to have it, I couldn't have Photo. I finally got Google to change it to PhotoJoseph, and that took an immense amount of effort and energy and time. It's insane. So when you're starting, think about these things. Get that one name that can be used everywhere. Now, PhotoJoseph is ubiquitous. It's everywhere, which is fantastic, but it took a long, long time to get here because I didn't plan it well enough. So don't make that mistake. Plan it well. Get that name that works everywhere. Use a service like this, namecheck.com. There's a bunch of them. It's free. There's a ton of them out there to verify that, and off you go. Okay, so that little social PSA. Let's move on to the questions, see if there's anything in here with what the questions might be. So Achita has got a question. Achita Len says, could you suggest a wired remote for the LUMIX? The only one that I've used is the one that's from Panasonic. It's relatively inexpensive. It doesn't do much. It's just like the shutter trigger button on your camera. It's got a half press, full press. That's it. I think it has a lock position as well. So if you're going to do bulb photography, I'm pretty sure it does. Could be wrong. It's electronic with a 2.5 millimeter plug, which means you can, for very inexpensively, you can buy an extension cable for that. Just a little stereo TRS 2.5 millimeter extension, and then you can run that really, really far. So that's awesome. Very, very good way to go. I know third parties make them as well. I've never tried any third party ones, but it's a pretty simple tech. I'm sure the third party ones work just fine. So that's a good wired remote's a good thing to have, I think. Even though all these cameras have wireless, sometimes it's just easier. Just plug it in and go. Ben 5 Shuttle says, if you actually owned both lenses based on first impressions, would you still keep the 7-14? Based off of first impressions, I don't see much of a need to. That tiny little extra bit of width, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in my day-to-day. Using, like, for real estate, which is where I mostly use that 7-14, I would gladly switch to the 8-18 because that does give me a little bit longer reach, which I do sometimes need, and sometimes I find myself taking off the 7-14, putting on the 12-35 because I need just a little bit more reach. And the extra width, I don't think I've ever felt like, oh, the 7 isn't wide enough, and I can't think of any situation where I couldn't go to 8 from 7 and be okay. So on first impressions, I don't think I would keep the 7-14. I've never used the 7-14 for vlogging. It just feels too distorted on the close-ups. For that, we'll have to do. Oh, I should have done a side-by-side of the on the close-up of the 7-14, the 8-18. But we'll have plenty of time for testing. But on first impressions, no, I don't think I would need to keep it. So there's that. Adrian says, what will be the longest USB cable I could use with the new USB tethering firmware on the GH5? Absolutely no idea. There are specs for USB lengths, maximum run lengths. It's well, the camera's USB-C, and I think USB-C goes really long. I think you can go quite long with that. Now, it might depend whether you're going USB-C to USB-B or to whatever, what normal USB that's everywhere, versus if you have a newer laptop and you're going USB-C to C, that might make a difference, but I don't have an answer for you, I'm sorry. I do know that at least in the old USB world, you can buy USB repeaters and extenders, but in my experience with those, not super reliable. So I would basically buy the longest cable that you can find from a reputable manufacturer, because that should tell you that they're only making it to that length because they know it'll work. I don't think that the software in the camera is going to have any requirements on that. I don't think they're going to put any conditions on that. I don't think, but again, I could be wrong there. But I would just buy the longest cable that you can find from a good quality manufacturer. So there's that. All right. Oh, FidoNet is adding in some thoughts on USB cable length in there as well. Okay, so I think that's kind of it. I don't know if there's anything else. You guys have any other questions in there? If not, we'll just we'll bail out of here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything earlier. Scrolling back through. It seems to be pretty universally decided that the video quality is not that great with this near real-time production, so we will, next week we'll go back to the regular one if I haven't tried to switch to 60p by then, which would be a lot of fun to do. I really wonder how that would affect the overall look of the show. Trevor is asking, have I ordered any v90 SD cards yet? No. Oh, that's a good point. No, I haven't. Probably should get some of those, but no, I haven't. I will need to do that. And remember I had said a while ago, what I really wanted to do was do a comparison of I think there are only 3 now manufacturers making these higher end cards, but unfortunately I couldn't get them from B&H on loan. Memory cards are something I have to buy. So now that when the GH5 2 firmware comes out, I think that would be the time to do the test and to take 3 of those cards. I'm just going to have to buy them. So if anybody, hey, here's a good one. If any of you have any inroads at any of the card manufacturers, I used to have great contacts at Lexar, but they don't make cards anymore. I don't have any good contacts at SanDisk or whoever else makes cards these days. So if any of you have any good contacts there, please reach out to me directly and put me in touch with them, because I would love to do some tests, but I can't borrow cards from B&H, and I really would rather not go spend, what, $500–600 on a couple of cards just for the sake of comparisons, especially since I want to buy bigger cards, not smaller ones, and if I'm going to have to buy 3 from 3 different manufacturers, I'd have to buy the smaller ones, and that would suck. So again, if you have any contacts, please hook me up. That would be great, and then I can do some proper comparisons. Achita says, I've seen someone have custom made his own USB cable. He just buys silver or gold plated big gauge cable and combined 5 of them with USB on both ends. Wow, but I don't know if it works well. Well, interesting. I guess if you are into making cables, then it's worth trying. Why not? Beardy Faces, any word of firmware updates for other Lumix cameras? No, I haven't heard anything. So that kind of stuff, that's not the kind of thing that I would hear about in advance. And even if I did, I couldn't tell you. There's always that. But publicly, no, I haven't seen anything about it. So, maybe that's not true. Maybe there is something else that's I've heard of, but nothing that's sticking in my mind. So nothing terribly exciting, I don't think. Obviously, all the big excitement and press has been around the GH5 update because it's pretty significant. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see that. Okay. Josh was saying some of those people who got the GH5 2 update also got SanDisk V90 cards. Well, they had to get V90 cards. Panasonic actually makes some, but they're not really going to be selling them. They're more proof of concept or something like that. Okay, last one. Ben5 Shuttle, any contact from the tracking hardware company I tweeted to you? No, I haven't reached out to that yet. So thank you, but I haven't done anything on that yet. Okay, that's it. Let's call it a day. Tomorrow is Out in the Field Friday. What I want to do tomorrow, so, you know, I went up to Mount Ashland last week, and on Friday it was clear. Over the weekend it was horrible. I'm hoping that tomorrow morning is going to be nice up there, so I can go up there, get some fresh air. Why is my computer freaking out? And what was really cool about being up there right now is, why is this web page going so weird? It's not terrible up there right now. Wow, come on, web page. There we go. This is Mount Ashland right now. That is the webcam. It looks not terrible. It's definitely been cleaner. It's definitely been worse. But there's Wi-Fi at the lodge up there that is currently on. You can reach it very full strength out in the parking lot. And since no one's up there because it's not ski season, just a construction crew, there's really good bandwidth. So what I might do is do another live show from the drone. I had some other ideas on how to combine things together that I'm hoping to play with this afternoon, try and put together so I can do a live show from the Spark tomorrow morning up on Mount Ashland. If there's... Look, it's a live camera. Like, what is that creeping into the scene? Oh, it's just a tractor. Because I think that would be kind of fun to do again. And the ideas that I have will allow us to get the audio in sync with the video, which we didn't have last time we did that. Okay. Am I going to lose my drone in the tree again? No. Why would you ask that? That's a horrible question, Joshua. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.